We live, and this is Eats, Beats, and Rhymes. Welcome back to another episode of Who Do You Got? The show that takes your favorite artists, your favorite crews, your favorite albums, et cetera, put them in a round for round battle to ask the overall question at the end of the night, who do you got? Tonight, we're talking about some legendary stuff, talking 90s. You know how we keep it over here? We're talking about the iconic Organized Confusion's Stress, the Extinction Agenda album, that 1994 classic, versus the first debut album of the HELTAH SKELTAH, rest in peace, Sean Price, Nocturnal album, that 1996 release. Who do you got? Eats, Beats, and Rhymes. Let's make some noise for this battle right here. Yeah, man. In case, like I said, if I'm running through it too fast, let me just remind everybody what I just said. We are talking about two legendary albums. We're talking about Nocturnal, the first debut project from that BCC clique, you know, the original Sean Price debut, if you will. We're talking about Rock and Ruck. I guess this is before Sean Price, right? He was going by Ruck at this point.
This is Rock and Ruck, yeah.
So Rock and Ruck on that debut project, fire. If you know, you know. But you're gonna find out tonight if you didn't. And then we're talking about that, like I said, up against the classic. Again, it's a Queens thing. I don't know how it's gonna go tonight, but it's a Queens, Southside Jamaica Queens thing going on. We got Organized with their second project, a much darker scaled kind of project compared to the first. Fly nonetheless. We're talking about, again, this weird name, Stress, the Extinction Agenda. I'm gonna lose how to say that after a few rips of my bong throughout the night.
This is gonna get interesting. This is gonna get really interesting.
Versus Nocturnal again. This is what we talk about tonight. We do this every Monday night live on Twitch. Don't forget to join us here every 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Monday night. And don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down here. We're dropping episodes on YouTube every week now. Please like, subscribe, play, share, post. It's all good. We love you guys for that. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. I'm logging in right now. How's everybody looking in there? And then, like I said, let's get this thing started. Let's go ahead and introduce everybody around the room. I'm going to get started over on the West Coast side of things. Oh, forgot, can't do that. He's not here. It's not like his vote mattered anyway.
Wow.
This one's for you, baby. I pour out a little digital for you, a little digital. All right. We're gonna start on the VA side of things, the DMV side of things. My man DJ Hobo. What's going on, DJ Hobo?
What up, bro? What's going on?
Listen, man, when we have our meetings about battles that come up, you were highly kind of excited about this one. So I'm curious to see what sort of the line you're gonna sort of side on this case, excuse me. We're talking about the Extinction Agenda, Stress versus Nocturnal. Who do you got, DJ Hobo?
This is truly a both of them for me in every sense of that phrase.
He's not here, but I guess we'll remember him.
I respect for the homie.
You gonna borrow it today?
I'm gonna go with HELTAH SKELTAH Nocturnal.
Oh, going putting it down for the HELTAH SKELTAH Nocturnal. I had a feeling we discussed this off camera, and I had a feeling this was the way you were gonna go, and it makes sense. You know, you did bring this one to light, so I kind of had a feeling which way you're gonna go. But again, sliding on down to the Easter side way of things over here on the New York side of things. We're going Long Island right now. My man Ike Infamous. What's going on, Ike?
Yo, peace. What's good, fellas?
What's up?
I
was good.
We're talking classic records. We're talking 90s. We're talking, again, groups, something that we don't get to talk about too often nowadays in hip-hop. You know what I'm saying? Hip-hop duos, groups in general. We're looking to talk about these duos right here. We're talking Organized Confusion, HELTAH SKELTAH. Their albums, who do you got?
Yo, Sean P. Nocturnal, man.
Sean P. The DP, okay.
Yeah, Rock this monster. Shout out to my dude, Rock, man.
You gotta do that P with bass. It's fair enough. I mean, I think, like I said, I had a feeling. I think I knew which way this rumor was going to side at one point. Keeping it Brooklyn, we're talking about man DJ Optics. Optics, what's going on, man?
Yo, what up?
Optics, we spoke briefly on Instagram. You wanted in on this battle. Break it down, brother. Why?
I mean, you see, I got a shirt for an album people don't just have shirts for.
Facts.
Yeah, I love this Organized Confusion album. Stress is like one of my favorite Buck Wild beats. I love the production, whole album, mixing concepts. Like Pharoah Monch always been one of my favorite MCs, and Prince Poe as well. Like he's also dope.
And they both produced heavy on this album.
Yeah, and I mean, I love HELTAH SKELTAH. I didn't come up listening to Nocturnal as much as Stress for whatever reason, which doesn't make sense because I'm like Smith and Wesson and Black Moon I listen to all the time, so I'm not sure why.
I mean, it was beforehand too, so it was a little weird.
Yeah. So I don't know why, but I mean, also the first beat I ever sold in my life was to HELTAH SKELTAH. So
Oh, nice.
I got love for them. R.I.P. You know,
Is there somebody we can hear this track, or is it something?
It was like for ESPN. It was my first sample free beat. It's not the greatest, but they did their thing. They made me sound good.
Dope.
Listen, man, we again, like I said, we're only dealing with the real hitters over here. You know what I'm saying? My Optics doing tracks with HELTAH SKELTAH. You already know what it is, working with the legend Sean Price. Again, so he puts his vote down. We see what's going on. It's looking a little one-sided.
Sure, for me.
It's looking a little one-sided at the moment, fellas. But here it is. Here we go. Like I said, we're talking Eats, Beats, and Rhymes. Who do you got? HELTAH SKELTAH Nocturnal versus Organized Confusion. Stress, the Extinction Agenda. DJ Scandalous, sliding over down to Queens. I wanted to talk to you real quick. Again, we're talking 2 classic records, one from your neck of the woods. Will that affect your vote tonight? Who do you got?
Man, I really struggle with this. I really struggle with this one. But to edge it out, and I have my reasons, I'm actually going HELTAH SKELTAH.
Oh!
Wow, clutch my pearls.
Yeah, oh my goodness.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. I haven't even wrote it down yet. I'm like, I can't. Really?
Scared against something Queens. Oh, I don't.
I mean, you know what, man? We'll get into it. You know what it is, man? It's kind of like the way I treated it. It's kind of like you got cars. I don't know if you guys into cars, right? But you know how you got that classic that you pull out once a year, once every few months, and that's how I feel about the Organized album. Where it's that classic, I'm gonna pull out every so often. Where HELTAH SKELTAH is your everyday big body whip. You're gonna bump it all the time. You're gonna be playing it a little bit more. So that's kind of how
Are we talking like classic Acura Legend? You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, if you're pulling out classic or Acura Legends once a year, I mean that's on you if you're doing it.
Right now in 2022, somebody cruised through with an Acura Legend. Everybody's stopping in the hood.
Okay.
Facts. I'm stopping in the hood if I see somebody.
Okay.
And a real clean one, hell yeah.
Okay.
Again, DJ Scanlon's putting his vote down. He's not keeping it as Queens as I assumed he would. But again, that's the beauty of the game. You never know which way it's gonna go. You're gonna vote, place your vote, how you're gonna vote down the line. Wrapping things up here, keeping it Queens again. Are you keeping it Queens? Triple C at Triple C Not So Social Trip. I mean, are we keeping it Nocturnal? Are we keeping it Stress? What are we doing?
Who I got on the background? You see who I got on the background?
Oh, yo, you see who I'm running with, son?
He's sunny even when I was being polite. Look, listen. Is there a reason? Is it the gun bars? Is it like what is it about this particular album that makes you pick it?
The whole duck down sound, the whole that era duck down.
The whole movement. I feel you.
Yeah, and they the cousins to Coco Bees.
They are the cousins. Yes, they are. They are. Again, the BCC boot camp clique. Shout out to the whole duck down. It's a reign that's impressive. That's still here. So let's go ahead and get started. Again, we got everybody's vote down. It looks like it's mostly one-sided at the moment. Sort of a heavy-weighted side of the room voting for HELTAH SKELTAH Nocturnal. Optics going with Organized Confusion. Again, I'll help you gladly to sort of play devil's advocate if you're feeling like you need to tag me in, if you will. But again, I know you can do your thing. Again, everybody can vote a bunch of different ways during the game. That's the beauty of it. Again, we do this every Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live on Twitch. Make sure you follow us on YouTube at Eats, Beats, and Rhymes, and like and subscribe. Smash those buttons right there. Listen, let's go ahead and start round number 1. We're talking Stress, the Extinction Agenda versus Nocturnal. I think it's only right we play a little bit of music, right? Let's get comfortable, kick your feet up, maybe light up a joint or light up your bong. What it is. You know what I'm saying? You hear my cat in the background crying like he's starving, like he hasn't eaten when I just fed him. But let's go ahead and play a couple of joints.
Starving Marvin.
You know me, I like to dissect projects around here. So we're talking about 2 classics, 90s, held a sound. It was an era. We're going to head and talk about the dissection of diving into these projects. If you know, you know. And what I like to do most of the time is start out by playing typically the introduction of what would be the albums. If they're intros, if they're songs, it usually depends. In this particular case, both albums have intros, and both intros are actual songs. Ironically, they're both called intros. One happens to have at least an add-on title to it called Here We Come. So we're going to start out with that one, HELTAH SKELTAH, Here We Come featuring Starang Wonder.
Man.
He said, what was your dick doing in the milk?
Yeah, that was what. Yeah.
Can y'all hear that?
Yeah.
There's something about the drums and the kick and the snare with the intro, with the album. Like that intro sets the tone for the album 1,000%.
Yeah.
1,000%.
Jules, you got the music playing on portable speaker?
Ooh, you know I let it keep playing. We eventually get to a verse. It's crazy, but they have the super long intro. Just to refresh you, give you a sprinkle of some of that intro right there. Like I said,
It's no jokes that it sounded like it was playing from a different source.
Like he was playing it underneath a sink.
A word is not as loud as it used to be.
You know, it's truly far from booties to rain one. Yeah, it was a little muffled.
Damn, you know, I'm trying out this new microphone right now, man. Shit. I'm trying to see. Maybe I'm gonna try to keep the speaker up here, see if it make any difference on this next one. If not, then maybe DJ Hova could take over the sounds going on the next round. But for now, again, wanted to play that quick sample of that intro right there. So again, we're going straight intros that sets off the vibe of both albums. So it's only right we start out the actual intro as titled on the album here for Stress, the Extinction Agenda, Organized Confusion.
A little better.
I think it's because I gotta get it from the mic this time before it actually was the mic. Oh, well, you get the next one.
Well, I can tell you going back, just even listening to the intros, because like I was telling y'all before, I know it's been a while for me since I've listened to the Organized Confusion Distressed album, man, and I was like the EQ and the master and the mixing of this era. I'm such a fan. I guess it's like that's that sound, that EQ, the way the sound of both of these albums. You know what I mean? It's like that's how it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? And I'm a WU-TANG fan, but when they went Bobby Digital, I was like, all right, I got to get used to this shit. You know what I mean? Because I was so used to it like that.
So that's your dissection on which one of these two joints you're saying?
I'm saying overall for kind of like the feel of both albums. You know what I mean? I definitely, I think I'm more gravitating towards the Nocturnal intro more than the Stress. And I think it was, I think it's just being such a fan of rock and Ruck, getting right to the business, getting it right started on something that was so fucking dope, especially after you hear an intro like that, like Who Got They Dick in the Milk, you know what I mean? You're like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? So like, it was just I
kind of like the Pharoah Monch singing kind of thing going on in his intro too, though. Like Pharoah was always good for like a couple of sweet notes.
He sung a lot on the project, man. I didn't realize it. That was one of the things. Like, oh shit, I didn't realize how much Pharoah was singing on it, man. Yeah. I'm putting my vote down for Nocturnal.
Ike with his first vote down, putting it down. Flag has been planted. Helter Skelter with Nocturnal getting the first vote of the night. Does anybody else feel differently? Anybody else feel the same? Does anybody want to dissect? Does anybody want to reminisce? Who do you got?
I go Nocturnal too for this question.
Speaking of why this particular question?
I just think it's like both intros are good. I just think the Nocturnal one, it's got a little more personality, gets you ready for the album. But they both accomplish the same thing, so it's hard. But
even through all the muffledness on my microphone, you can still go with Nocturnal.
Well, I'm good from when I listened to it earlier today. I got nothing from you.
I'm glad you did your homework, sir. Thank you. Fair enough. Again, Optics putting it down, not scared to place his flag down. And this is a guy that, again, initially started his vote down for the other side of the team. So let me know how you're going to vote.
I know what my album vote was.
Fair enough. Anybody else feel the same? Does anybody else feel differently?
Yeah, so I'm going to go with Nocturnal for this one, too. I feel like this was when I was in college. Very into that BCC boot camp click, Black Moon sound. And I mean, just the way that this album started off, here we come, here we come. Shout out to Philly in the chat. We did a mixtape and we used that sample to start off the mixtape. So shout to that dude.
Right.
And
Black Moses in there.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Black Moses as well. But yeah, man, that it's just something about that intro and how they started it off. And Starang Wonder did a pretty good job of kicking that off pretty heavily.
Starang Wonder. Again, remember OGC doing the feature on the intro? Must be nice if they include him to be one of the first. He's also, I think, the first rapper that you hear, if I'm not mistaken, right? You got the first verse, or no?
Yeah. Yours off from Booty Starang Wonder. Yeah.
So shout out to him for. I mean, again, must be the nice. I don't want to say the nicest in the crew because OGC is actually all over this project, so I'm not going to say that. But again, must be a nicer DK member if you first on the album, you're setting off the tempo again of your man's albums. We're at the point in the game where it's early. Round number one, we're talking about who had the best intro, Organized Confusion with their intro, or Helter Skelter on our Nocturnal's intro of Here We Come. It's rare, and I'm a little upset that I don't get to see Triple C while I do this, but it's pretty rare that I get to knock out two birds, one stone at the same time. He's hiding. I know he's hiding. He's hiding right now. It's scandalous. I guess this is sort of some kind of life's retributions, life getting you back for going anti-Queens.
Yo, sorry about that, man.
No, Triple C, I'm glad you're back, buddy, because you're about to witness the first time in history on EBR Network. Who do you got's first? Your vote don't matter times 2.
No, it's a double play, baby. Double play.
Double play.
Double play.
Ooh, double play. Triple C, your vote don't matter.
All right.
Your vote don't matter.
Okay, I just got word from my brother, so I'm good.
Oh, shout out.
Okay, so that's important.
Triple C's brother. He's good. He's in good spirits.
Yeah. He said he didn't feel anything.
Now we're talking about
pause though, Triple C.
We're talking about his brother's honeymoon. So again, so we know how it's going.
Still a pause.
It's still a pause. It's not a thing was moving. Not a thing was moving. Shout out Max. Shout out to you. Congratulations.
Yes,
again,
sir.
Triple C,
Congrats.
I'm glad you got that good bit of news, because I got to deliver this bad piece of news to you. I want to show I get the blur off my screen. Well, I'm back, baby. Your vote don't matter, Triple C.
Yeah. But I was going to Helter Skelter anyway. I was going to.
It was Helter Skelter anyway, yeah.
You're out of here, baby. I put it down just because you put it out there, just for shit and fuels. And Scandalous, I'm assuming it was Helter Skelter as well?
Yeah, it was Helter Skelter, yeah.
Okay, so it's going to be a one-sided event. We're wrapping up round number 1. We decided to put both intros of both these albums against each other. Again, we're talking the Extinction versus Nocturnal. And we decided to put the intro versus intro. And it looks like we're going with Here We Come intro off the Nocturnal Helter Skelter album featuring Starang Wonder. Here We Come is the winner of round number 1. So that officially puts Helter Skelter's Nocturnal on the board with...
Can I add to that? He said Lord Jamar produced it?
Lord Jamar apparently helped co-produce it, according to the Wikipedia hip-hop gods, who we respect, always believe no matter what.
I didn't even know he produced.
Apparently him and Buckshot both produced the songs, produced this track. Lord Jamar has been known to do production. He did stuff with Dead Prez as well. Not hard to believe that he probably could have, produced this track. I mean that. But it's Buckshot and Lord Jamar apparently listed as producers for this particular track. So that's the Here We Come, featuring again OGC's Starang Wonder. I just like the way he spells his name. It's like such a cool way of spelling Wonder. Shout out to Starang Wonder. Again, we've wrapped up round number 1. This round goes to Helter Skelter. Helter Skelter officially on the board. We are officially moving on to round number 2. We're talking Stress, the Extinction Agenda versus Nocturnal, 2 classic 90s albums. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. Shout out to everybody watching this on YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment. Let us know about a battle that maybe you think we should do. Someone already suggested something. We're looking into it. We're trying to find the proper counterpart for that particular battle, so you never know what you might spark here. Let's get and talk about some of these records that you knew we were going to talk about at some point. Let's talk about what we like to call the big records.
Please.
The singles. The ones that Even your friend that don't listen to real hip hop goes, "Oh, I know that record." Let's talk about. I'm gonna just play them. Like, should I just play them, or should I listen? Let's talk about stress. Oh no! In fact, DJ Ho, you got to do it because the baseline is so low.
Yeah,
you can't even hear it on my. I know you're not gonna hear it on my microphone, so it's like, please, DJ Hobo, give him just a smidge, a taste of that pause of that classic stress.
and you always got to respect the bass. Always got to respect.
Crazy it is. Shout out to Buck Wild.
Yes,
Buck
sir.
Wild's crazy with the bass lines. That's his thing.
Yeah. But speaking of stress, oh man, I love the remix.
Olan, Triple C, Olan.
Hold on.
Olan, Triple C.
Yo, you see what I'm talking about with that sound? You can't.
Yeah.
That sound is so authentic. 90s, Queens, Brooklyn, New York. That like I'm. That shit just runs through my fucking veins. Like
I remember the video was. Oh my god! Just
I don't remember the video of the stress, man. That's
it was like cold. It was like a winter like video.
Yeah.
There was a lot of snow and shit, and like scope shots and like.
And all of the vocals, just everything, the way that the track builds up.
Those horns are
that's
crazy.
Yeah.
Horns are crazy. Shout out Buck Wild once again. DIT in the building.
Yeah, that's top tier Buck Wild beat right there.
Ooh, baby.
Wow.
That is insane right there.
Yeah.
So again, Hobo, listen, the sound is sounding good on your end, baby. Let's keep that going, baby. I didn't do the intros no kind of justice. So let's go ahead and talk about again. It takes a big record to go against a big record, obviously, right? Steel sharpens steel, as we say, right? So it's only right we had to find a gem on that Nocturnal project. A single, of course, because we're talking singles. DJ Hobo, go ahead and play that first joint, Operation Lockdown, produced by E. Swift.
Alcoholics.
A little bit of, let's just call it outside and out coast production, if that makes any sense, for a first single, because this was technically a first single. They like to live with the flower, but like, relax.
All right, I'll sit back down.
It's on the album.
I'm saying.
I thought he was going to keep that one too.
Right? Like, and then I started to hear the first. I started to hear the slick words with the first, and I'm like, oh, okay. I see what he's doing. I see what he's doing. He's trying to sit me back down.
Respectfully, OGC would have dropped the
Cash jumped off the dance floor.
Yeah, you know what? That's why he's the curator, the host. He does what he do. You know what I mean? Sit my black ass down. Go ahead.
I'm just gonna go ahead and take these bong flowers right here that you just gave me, and accept these flowers.
Yeah, burn those flowers, please.
I mean, it was cool at first, you know, just, you know, rapping.
Let me hear that Skytel page. Let me hear that Skytel.
But then, like, what happened was the people, they started to talk about things that made sense. I was like, it's fun.
Yo, they were always so funny, too.
I was like, yo, fucking amazing.
Like, yeah, we got to get a little bit of the verse. Let that shit rock.
I don't even know how to
get down like this. The niggas snuck through the door, peep the scene, sniped a few, they crept through with two more. Heads were getting nervous. At 3 now, they want to break no.
Drums.
More toward the door, straight the fuck off.
I mean, bro, Rock has one of the best voices in hip hop.
Yep, keep going.
In my opinion.
Keep going, Hobo. Keep going.
His voice is so rugged and just grimy, and he can rhyme too. That's the thing. Like, he can rhyme.
He is a lyricist.
He uses like that voice, and it's no mistaking who's rhyming on a song. You hear that voice, man.
Yeah, that's true.
It's funny. It's funny you say that. I had the opportunity of recording a session of his out here in where we had our Groundwork Studios, years ago. And, you know, for being such a humongous fan of Helter Skelter, Rock and Ruck, Sean Price, Rock This Monster, to see him in the studio, you know, one of the first things in hip hop for everybody, I would assume, is like, does he sound exactly like he sounds on the album? You know, and when I sat down and it was all right running the session, and I'm standing here and I'm watching this tall, lanky Rock This Monster, the superstar, record his verse, I'm like, oh, yeah. No. All right, hold on, he'll do it again. I was getting so lost and captivated because he does sound like that. And I think he's one of the most, I think he's super underrated, super underrated as a lyricist.
Black Moses, he said he got one of them cartoon Hanna-Barbera type cartoon voices.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Ike, with that being said, does Rock's voice make you pick this single over Stress? Voice enough to go over those loud horns? His loud, deep voice enough to conquer Pharaoh's verse, them getting shit on the cab, and it's on the song, right? It's like it's literally on the song too.
I mean, when you put it so eloquently like this, it actually kind of makes it a difficult question. You know what I mean? I think if it would have been La Flor La Fla against Stress, I think it would have been easier for me to take Nocturnal.
It would have been easier for a lot of people in here.
But I think honestly in this one, I might have to break where I'm going from or where I started. And I'm a vote Stress on this one.
Oh, I finally crossing the picking line.
Yeah, that like
the kids got me.
And it's not like when you say is Rock's voice gonna take over this, and it's not necessarily the voice. These are two dope songs, dope records, and just the intro is Stress. How that intro gets you started, it gets you into that emotion. You know what I mean? So.
It sounds like crazy, like psycho, like.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the way Rock he entered. I like the way he entered the beat. Like he merged right into it. Nice.
So you're more of a Scottsdale pager guy. Or were you a Nextel gentleman?
It went down like this.
Yeah, but
like this. Hold on, they're paging me. Hold on. Triple C, listen, we all know you.
I'm going to Operation Lockdown though.
You going to Operation Lockdown?
Okay.
Triple C putting his first zone. We got Ike put his first zone down. Team Organized Confusion. Triple C putting the first zone.
And that bass is hard. Yeah.
That baseline is crazy.
See, he made it a very difficult question, man. And listen, I made my choice, but I'm not necessarily too happy about it. He made it a very difficult question.
Let's keep moving before people start to feel a certain kind of way about their votes. Optics, let's look at you again. This is a particular song that represents that album specifically that you have in your chest right there, on your chest. Yep. Which way are you voting, brother?
I mean, I'm a producer. I'm going Stress on this one because that beat is crazy. Like that's one of my favorite beats.
Is this Buck Wild on a run at this point, or is this Buck Wild still building his chops?
He's new, but I mean, this is
in the room
after the OC album.
Yeah.
So what? This is this right around the same time as 456?
Oh, so this is after OC album. Okay.
Wait, this is 94, right?
No, 94. It is 94. Matter of fact, the summer of 94.
So I think he's on his way to make his run. If I'm not mistaken, but you guys correct me.
I think this is when he's starting to hit that stride.
It's definitely early though.
Yeah.
Say again, Optic. What was that?
I said it's definitely early. Yeah, can you get?
Yeah.
My internet's been a little shitty. You hear me all right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I moved out to the couch, so should be able to
get comfortable, relax, get comfortable. Relax.
So Stress, correct?
Definitely Stress for this one. I mean, Operation Lockdown's dope, but Stress to me is that's just one of those joints. Especially like I feel like this album wasn't on streaming for a while.
Oh, what? Okay.
It just recently got on streaming.
Oh shit. Okay.
So like, I always would make sure I have a CD copy. This isn't an easy CD to just have all the time.
It's funny you said that because in my research today, it basically mentions this album is out of print. It's officially out of print. This album is hard to find.
Really?
So it was on Hollywood Records, which Hollywood went to Universal at one point, but maybe it doesn't anymore. And it's also Hollywood is technically a Disney company, so who with Disney maybe they don't want the foul stuff to come out or whatever.
Didn't they get picked up by Capitol too, Jules?
Maybe, but this is such early catalog. I don't know if it gets lumped into like recent purchases of.
Right.
But what he's saying is true. I didn't know about the streaming portion, which makes sense though, because it ties in with even the physical of that being hard to find apparently. So I guess we're lucky that we got a chance.
I've definitely paid $30 for a copy of the copy.
There you go. You say you have or you would?
I have.
There you go. Look at that. Shit.
Yeah, now it's on streaming, so you know.
Listen, dude. You're a hip hop.
But now I got it. It goes back off. I'm ready.
There's nothing better than owning it. Nothing better than owning it. Optics putting this vote down again. It's any way this game can go any. Well, this round I should say can go any way right now. We got Triple C with Operation Lockdown. Ike and Optics both voting for Stress. Anybody left in the room? Y'all know who you are. Does anybody want to
I said I would go.
Go ahead, brother. My bad.
Nah, I got Stress with this one, and shout out to that Extra P remix, man.
Oh,
that
that's
fire.
Yeah.
Is that the one that's on Spotify? I doubt it. There's a remix on here.
It's an extra cut on the album, so it's probably.
Is it that one? Is it this one? Well, again, I'm not gonna play it. You gotta play it.
Let me play it for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, because the remix is on the album, right? There's a remix on the album.
Single.
There's a version on Spotify, so I'm assuming that's it.
Yeah, here it is.
Yo, it's the verbal assault weapon for words uncanny. You can fool me, but I cannot fuck with Rudy Giuliani. Press the panic button, shit, it's the schizophrenic cannon. I can kill it from the west coast to the Atlantic. Nowadays, it seems it's hard to maintain. And take the track. God, I'm going insane. You can feel my pain.
Yo, hobo, we hear the lyrics more down the beat.
Yeah, it's a little weird. We don't get the bottom for some reason. It's all good though.
I'll turn it down a little bit next time.
I think just like Optics was saying, production wise, that Stress record is the original is just different. That's a dope record.
Well, I think that's what the whole album needed. It needed something like Stress. The album.
I mean, I know I voted for Nocturnal, but I mean that album had joints on it, man. It had some serious joints on it.
I think the beats was lacking.
When this came out in '94, I wasn't on the Organized Confusion like that.
You know,
I kind of
I was late.
Like 96, 97, I was looping back. Yeah, no, the singles and things like that.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like having the album and being like totally vested. I wasn't like that when it first came out.
Neither.
But Stress was the only single.
Yeah, Stress was.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
I was on this album heavy, man. I Preemptive Strike. I had Stress asterisk as a song that we're doing my research, so I would have chose Stress. I know my vote don't count. Preemptive Strike. I would have chose Stress, but I will say, I'm very happy to hear that you said Optics about that it's hard to find because I have that on CD. I'm boosted right now.
I'm sitting on money right now. You sitting on money right now, homo?
Yeah, son, I'm happy as shit.
Look,
right now.
listen, buddy. Let me do a catalog check. Sometimes we think we have something, and then we will. Where is it?
I'm looking at the CD book.
If you're looking at it right now, then you get money. Again, so hobo. I mean, you're gracefully bowing out because you know your vote don't count. But I love to know just because of that eloquent, description that you just described as you what would have been. But I need an official. Just who
Stress for sure. That song. I was going through some shit at that time, and that shit helped me out. I'm not going too deep into it, but yeah, that was my album, man. I love this album actually.
Listen, I believe you. It's anything Queen's touched less came from. It's gonna ring classic, baby.
Every chance he gets, homo. Every chance he gets.
Every chance he gets, son.
You know what? And I don't blame him. Brentwood all day. You know what I mean? Long Island all day.
I'm Virginia all day.
How can I be talking shit if it's true? It can't be shit talking if it's true.
I'm not mad.
I'm lost. If it's true, I don't. Anyway.
I mean, do your thing. I almost put my Virginia Kids hoodie on again today to celebrate.
Listen, man, do your thing. Just over there, do what you gotta do, baby. When it comes to round number 2, we're talking about Organized Confusion, Stress, the Extinction Agenda, versus Heltah Skeltah's Nocturnal. We decided to talk about some of the big records, the singles, if you will. We decided to put Stress versus Operation Lockdown. Shout out to Buck Wild and E Swift on the production of each.
Yes.
And while it wasn't completely one-sided, it was heavy weighing on one side of the room. And it looks like this round officially goes to Organized Confusion, with Stress putting Organized Confusion officially on the board. It officially is 1-1. It's tied up. Again, the game can go any way. You never know. And I swear we don't come up with this ahead of time.
Do the chat room agree?
Say again?
Do the chat room agree?
Does the chat room agree? Did you hear what they saying? Chat room.
So Mike Wilson said Queens was on fire between 1993 and 94 with the amount of rappers they had back then, which is true.
Absolutely.
Oh, he gets that this is true, but I get the
because he doesn't say it all the time.
It's about presentation. It's about presentation. It's about presentation.
That's right. Presentation.
I'm the king of presentation.
Presentation. That's right. Presentation.
Fair enough. Listen.
A Morris 75 shout to you says organized till I die.
Oh shit, that's some queen shit right there.
You sound sensitive right now.
Not at all. Listen, how could I be sensitive about pointing out the obvious stuff? It's just so obvious. It's just, listen, we're gonna wrap up round number 2. Okay, meaning Organized Confusion is officially on the board. It's tied up. Like I said, if you join us for the first time, we do this every Monday night live on Twitch. But we're also dropping episodes on YouTube. Check us out. Eats, Beats, and Rhymes. One word: like, subscribe, play, share, post, do all that good stuff. Round number 3, Nocturnal versus the Extinction Agenda. Stress.
A Morris checking in from Detroit. That's what's
Detroit?
up.
Oh, that's what's up, baby.
Peace to the D, man.
Yeah, word.
It's so cold in the D.
Listen, I got an interesting question that actually A Morris can participate in, because I like to hear his or her. I don't know, What do you guys have to say about both albums' production? It's a question I like to pose from time to time, where it's sort of an open forum to the room. Let's talk production. Which album's production does it more for you? And let's just talk about some of the hitters involved in this production scheme, right? When we're talking about the Extinction Agenda project, we're talking about the majority of the production is done in-house by Organized Confusion. We got Buck Wild on a couple of tracks, and shout out to early Rockwilder doing his thing as well. Early in his career.
Shout out to my dude Rockwilder, man.
Wow. Again, Queens. I didn't know. I thought he was a Long Island guy. Apparently, again, Queens in the building. Am I at fault for representing where he's from? I just mentioned.
Nah, he be out here in Brentwood though. You know what I mean? Hit squad all day.
He was so much in Long Island that I thought he was a Long Island guy.
Shout out to my man Boogeyman. You know what I mean?
There you go. Shout out to Rockwilder. So again, majority of this production handled by Organized Confusion. Buck Wild apparently touching about 3 songs that I can see on here, with Rockwilder his production on 1. And then we're talking about, obviously, Nocturnal, which, again, we're talking about the beat miners. It's broken up. This is one of the prime examples we talked about in other episodes, where beat miners looked on this particular project to sort of take credit for each of their particular set of production. So long story short, you got the beat miners doing majority of the production, that consisting of, by order of listing on again the Wikipedia God pages of hip hop, Baby Paul, DJ Evil D, Mr. Walt, Sean J. Period, and I don't know if some of these other people that are on here are also considered members of the beat miners. They had like sort of an extended olive branch of members, but other producers on here, Lord Jamar as well, as you mentioned, Buckshot as well. You got Shalik, you got Supreme, and you got E Swift again with the guest production right there. So this is the production sort of consisting of both these 90s projects. Again, everybody on there known to deliver 90s kind of typical sounds that we're used to, that boom bap, that 90s, mid 90s, if you will, sound. This is before the turn of events, like it was DJ Scandalous likes to point out from time to time, that 97 turnaround. This is where I think we're still sort of knee deep in it.
Very true. Very true. Yeah, very true.
This kind of hip hop could get radio play at this point in time. There wasn't a lot really conventionally drawn down the sand.
Right.
So again, I asked the question to the room and everybody in the chat room: whose production did it for more for you guys? Was it the production on Organized Confusion's Stress the Agenda, the Extinction Agenda, or was it HELTAH SKELTAH's Nocturnal?
I'm gonna jump in and say Organized. I'm gonna include engineering in it. I know I mentioned it a little bit, and Ike, I know you were mentioning like the EQ on this album.
You're talking about Stress.
Stress, yeah. I mean, I think both albums have great production, and kind of like I feel like they both are mixed really. What's like you say congruent for the mix? I don't know.
Like they're both similar in mix?
Yeah, like they all flow really well. Like each song sounds like it's
I say congruently, sure.
They create like a sonic world. But like for me, Organized Confusion, like the beats on there, it feels like in a good way, not like in a biting way. Like it feels like a Tribe album. Like everything feels smooth.
I can see what you're saying there. I can see what you're saying with that.
It's great jazz loops. It can play anywhere, anytime. It's not for like a specific time necessarily. And I think I got a little bit of that as well. But for me, Stress is just like throw it on, clean the house.
So then I'm gonna go ahead and place my vote for Nocturnal easily.
Easily. Why so easily?
Now, Optics is right though, as far as like the mixing and the mastering and how well. What was that? What was that nice collegiate word that you used? That I don't. Congruently. It congruently sounded correctly. You know what I mean? And it gave the feel for what the Stress, for the title of the album. You know what I mean? For the Stress, but the Nocturnal for me, like. It was, especially at that time when this album came out, it was delivering exactly what I wanted from the intro all the way out. You know what I'm saying? And then you're getting somebody like Ruck and Rock with their lyrical skill, the comedy on it. You know what I mean? The just how dark and deep the bass lines are, and then it goes back to what I was saying earlier, just like that mastering EQ of just all the drums sound gritty and fucking grimy and clean, and all the snares sound fucking gritty and grimy and clean. It's just, I love the way that album was mixed and mastered. I'm going with that channel.
That's what's up. I like that. Definitely a nostalgic sort of vibe. Even re-listening it today and pointing out all those kind of things you were talking about. But we got one on each side of the board now. We got, like I said, Optics putting his vote down for Organized Confusion, with Ike putting his vote down for HELTAH SKELTAH. Anybody feel the same differently for both these guys? What's going on?
Yeah, I feel like go ahead.
Oh no. I was just gonna say, actually, just to time actually what both Optics and Ike said. I think they both made great points for each side. I think with the Nocturnal album though, I think that kind of really was capturing that dark New York sound at that time. I think that because the Organized Confusion album is like the 93, 94 cusp. So I think it's coming out to what Optics was saying, like that Tribe with the jazz loops and everything. But like that Nocturnal was like that really dark, especially if you know New York back then. It was dark and it was bananas back then. So so like that
kind of like what it's now.
Really captured.
The Stress album is pretty dark compared to even their first album. If you
say it again.
So the Stress album is definitely darker than their first album.
It is, but it's in a different way, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I was kind of saying it before, like that Stress album it's like its own thing. It's dark and has great bars and different things about it that make it unique for its own thing. But overall, I think the production was really dark. D&D, big studio right now, that contributes to a lot of that boot camp sound that we kind of love and kind of hold in high regard, to the New York sound. So both albums, again, they shine in their own way. You know what I mean? But I think overall, just for me, that Nocturnal album just kind of resonates just a little bit more to capture the overall essence of like New York and a time period. Because if you think about it, like that time period of New York and Brooklyn was just dark for a long time. You know what I mean? And it really captured that sound from it really set New York for a long time, a lot.
You are officially voting Nocturnal, correct?
Yes, sir.
Gotcha. So before we keep moving, let me just ask a question to all the, I guess, the producers and beat makers in the room. I was impressed going down memory lane listening to Stress, the album, not just a single. But I think what Optics brings up and what you bring up is true. It was a little earlier cusp of again that was as artsy as we can get, if you will, in terms of that version of that sound at that time, and they were doing it well. But we've heard Organized Confusion production in the past before. I guess I'm just asking you guys. It has nothing to do with the battle per se.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think is making the beats? Is it Prince Paul or is it Munch? Like who do you think is making the beats? Because I mean they make fucking. I'm impressed with the make is what I'm saying. And then you also Pharoah Monch's solo stuff. I mean he produced Simon Says and all this kind of shit. It's like who's the real beat maker here? Pause.
So like I think it's probably collaborative. Actually, me and I don't my dude Mean Joe, but like we make beats together, but like he doesn't make beats. He just comes over with records and he'll kind of like be somebody to bounce ideas off of. But it's like we sit down, we're producing somebody together right now. Like it's like we're both producing. I'm the one that like, has the technical knowledge.
Right.
That would be my guess.
Mm-hmm. I think they do good production.
Yeah.
It's funny you say it. It's the same thing. Like I just started. I got my MPC one maybe like a year ago, but I had been picking out samples and going through thrift stores and things since 93, 94. And my brother Pound the Problem, he was always the technical one. You know what I mean? So like I would come with samples, but like, yo, that is dope. This is that and the third. So I could definitely see a duo or something like that being done. You know what I mean? To where Pharoah Monch took it and with his own and you know what I mean, exploded and did what he did.
Probably.
To tie it up, I'll definitely agree with both of what Optics and Ike said. And to my little bit of knowledge again, we know Pharoah's always been on the MP. He always talks about him making the beats, but I will say shout out to my boy Bless. He told me that he was in contact when Prince Paul used to do some things. So I think it was more of a collaborative effort, but I think Pharoah was more of the guy to really put the ideas together. For the little that I know.
Fair enough. Like I said, I was just curious because I wanted to like some of the people know like, oh, that's more like in the Neptunes, everybody knows more this guy, more that guy, right? So it's like I just wanted to see if anybody had an opinion because I feel like I thought it might have been more Pharoah the way his career kind of projected and again he self-produces as well.
It's all about a vibe in the studio though, man. It's about that right vibe, that right energy. You know what I mean?
Right.
What was that, Optics?
I remember reading an interview too, or maybe just I know Poe a little bit from like recording him before, and I didn't think to ask him this, but
no.
But he's talked about he was more handling the business while Pharoah was more
right.
So maybe it was Monch. Fair enough.
Dope.
It's more like Prodigy and Havoc. Prodigy was like all business, and Havoc was all on the beats.
Yeah.
Prodigy was into everything else. Guns, jewelry, everything. We're talking about round number 3. We're talking Nocturnal versus Stress, the Extinction Agenda, 90s classics. Round that we're currently on is round 3. We're talking Let's Talk Production. We got Ike, Scandalous, and Optics votes in the room. That leaves Hobo and Triple C. Which album speaks to your liking the most?
I'm going with Heltah Skeltah. It gave me that New York gritty, smelly subway sound.
Decepticons and low lives and stuff like that.
He said smelly subway.
It's the smell in between your cassette at the time, because it was your cassette rewinding or getting ready to come in the next time, that you had to like, I gotta smell this piss. Okay, fair enough. Triple C with his vote, always the quick fast. Triple C, man, 50 grand. So Hobo, I'm in a generous mood this evening. Which way would you have voted? Because as you know, chain, your vote don't count.
I know. I was trying to be generous to Triple C.
I see what that's how it works, baby. I throw it around here, man. It's what happens. You get left behind.
I wasn't gonna, jump in, pause, but
you're left behind, baby.
They both mean different things to me at different times, production-wise. Black Moses brought up a good point. He said Nocturnal was Decept music. That was like they were at the height of like the grind.
They definitely talk a lot of Decept shit on that album.
Wow. Yeah.
Hitting you in the head with hammers, baby. Decept shit all day.
Right. I just I probably would have gone Stress on this one. Just because Stress was that album is sonically a little bit better for me. I think there's a different varieties of beats. Like if you go from like Straight Bullet and Y and 3, 2, 1 to stress and bring it on and drop bombs. It's different flavors on that album.
Very good.
Yeah. I think it's again back to like what sort of Optics mentioned. It had an earlier 90s sound than what like the mid 90s started to produce a little later down the road. When you mention songs like was it Bomb Like This or
Drop Bombs.
Drop Bombs, it's like it's literally the drop bombs like this, drop bombs like it's like, oh kid, like it was still that era of like we could just chant something over and over. And this is the hook.
Yeah.
Before it became either no hook and let the DJ do his thing again, or just be
start getting creative with the hooks.
My favorite shit.
Right.
But again, shout out to Organized Confusion. Again, it's a dope album. So again, we're wrapping up round number 3. It wasn't a one-sided affair when we were asking the question, let's talk about production. It was pretty much split down the middle with actually with Triple C's vote putting the vote over the edge. It looks like this round goes to HELTAH SKELTAH's Nocturnal's production. Shout out to the beat miners, all of them. Who is it? Lord Jamar, Buckshot, and E Swift, amongst others who did the production there. So with that win right there on round number 3, that officially puts HELTAH SKELTAH with 2 on the board at a 2-1 advantage over Organized Confusion, but we're still going down to round number 4. Again, we do this every Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live on Twitch. But more importantly, check us out on YouTube, baby. It's Beats and Rhymes. New episodes every week. And we're moving on to round number 4. Let's talk about it. Let's talk music. I want to play some more stuff. You ready, Hobo? Because I'm going to play a request of you to play a couple of gems. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. Again, you guys are going to like this because we're going to play, some good music off the albums, and we're going to dissect them as we usually do. So we're going to handle justice with the room. I ask you guys, when we're talking about Organized Confusion, stress the extinction agenda, I wanted to put the song Stray Bullet versus the WIGGY. Get a little bit of each of these. And I want you to see if there's, I'm not looking for you as the answer to find the similarities, but if you can find any similarities, see if maybe that you understand why I kind of pair these.
All right, here we go. You Stray Bullet first?
Sure, sir. See if we can hear the drums.
I'll turn it up.
No, you're good. I've been like good, you're doing good.
Let the trigger finger put the pressure to the mechanism which gives the response for the automatic click to release projectiles and single file causing me.
So creative what they did with those chops, man, with those original drums, and like just how it changed, how the beat just like that, like that was
that beat too, man.
There's a lot to it, man.
On in that beat.
Yeah,
he could have left. They could have left those first 8 bars. They could have left that for like, you know what I mean, a verse and a half. That shit was you was already in a groove, and where it took it, that shit is dope. That shit was dope.
Right.
Yeah. Stan, what's that sample again?
Donald Byrd. No, Blackbirds, which is Donald Byrd. Whip Parade, yeah.
And that's like the precursor to the Nas joint, right? The Nas, the Nas where he's talking about the gun, where he's talking in, what's the name of that song? I Gave You Power. Yeah.
Gave You Power. Yeah.
Precursor to that, right? Like talking about the effects of gun violence.
Oh, I was trying to find the connection where you're talking about. Yeah, I think so, yes.
But this how he talked about is different. Like you don't hear somebody talking about gun violence in that way. And like, if you, for those in the chat room, if you haven't heard, or if whoever listens to this, if you haven't heard Stray Bullet, please listen to it. Well,
unpack on it a little bit. So like, what's so good about this record, and what made it so special that a year like '94, you're saying something like this song is surprising that it existed?
Well, I mean, the part where he's talking about the bullet coming for the 13-year-old little girl, right? He's like, "I'm coming for you, little girl." Like it's
it's a very dark way to look at it. He gave that bullet a character, a life. He brought it. There's such
he made the bullet into Pinocchio.
He made that bullet into Pinocchio. So he brought it to life. So it's a very crazy perspective. On where that rhyme is coming from.
Well, again, so that's the perspective of that record. the sample's dope, the record's dope. We know both guys kill it on the track, so I had to put it up against something special. So I wanted to put that up against Nocturnal's own The Wiggy, which I believe is a B-side to a single, if I'm not mistaken. It might have been Operation Lockdown.
It's the B-side. I think it's the B-side to The Floor of the Fly. I think.
No.
It's one of the singles. It's one of the singles.
I think it's to Operation Lockdown.
It's one of the singles.
It's definitely one of them, for sure. All right, The Wiggy, you said, right? Here we go.
Uh-huh. A nigga run shit like track meets. When blacks meet in the back streets, my gag reach niggas that don't recognize my rap sheet. The facts be the rough rains like the weather. Plus rock make cops still blocks down like heather.
Yeah. 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 Their lyrics, they're so fucking lyrically dope, man. So fucking lyrically dope, bro.
Man. Oh, damn. Damn you, Jules.
It's gem after gem. It's which one makes you choose the one to play on your way to the store, on your way to get roll up, on your way to get a drink, on your way to get something from the fridge.
We say this all the time. It's such a different vibe. Like those songs are such a different vibe. I mean, it's
totally different vibe.
Yeah, in a different place. And to quote my man Mike Infamous, Mike, I'm drunk. Ike.
I was like, who?
It's been a
I'm
long
with
day.
you.
But to quote Ike, I feel like the Wiggy is what Trip rolls around with the gat in his lap.
I was just about to say, it's Jeep music. It's Jeep music to me.
You said it's Jeep music or cheap music?
Jeep
music.
Jeep. Yo, Hobo hit it right on the button. This is that Jeep Grand Cherokee, the gray one or the green one with the tints on it. You're like, yo, who's that truck, man? Who's that? And they get to the stop sign and you hear the Wiggy. You're like, nah, man, I don't know who that shit is. Nah, that shit is hot. You gotta figure this shit out.
Fair enough. Like I said, so now you guys know what you're dealing with right here. You're dealing with two gems, two underrated joints, if you will, kind of get overlooked a little bit, but fire nonetheless for their own reasons. So let's talk about the overlooked. Who had the best overlooked track?
I kind of hope my vote don't count on this one. Somebody else.
So Hobo got the vote in his house tonight.
That's why you need to go first, Hobo.
Somebody else go. Damn it.
Hobo got the vote in his house tonight.
Yo, I'm going with Wiggy.
I'm not afraid to go first.
I seen Optics trying to go first. Everybody, Optics, what you got?
Nah, see,
I got triple E for this one.
You got the shit. Okay, why you got the Wiggy?
I thought you were gonna put. I even thought about it earlier today when I saw it. I'm like, oh, you're gonna put Therapy versus Stray Bullet because they're the two like.
I thought so. I thought that too.
I knew you guys would.
But yeah, Stray Bullet's such a dope. Like that's like more of like an art piece than a song I just want to listen to. Like, but it's not.
Oh, that's perfect right there, man.
Yeah,
that's perfect.
Yeah,
obviously. Yeah.
So for that reason, I'll go the Wiggy because I'd way rather listen to that at any average moment. I'm gonna listen to that.
Any moment.
I think both songs represent kind of like
roll up just playing Stray Bullet when you're trying to have some fun.
Yeah, good point.
It's a different zone. It's a different zone.
That's the thing about them is I felt like both represent what each kind of group it particularly is at that moment in time, right? So like Organized Confusion is street, but also they weren't just.
They were conscious.
Yeah,
they were conscious. Yeah.
And Heltah Skeltah were street, but they brought a level of sort of relatability, whether it was to being funny or the visuals and stuff like that. But you weren't scared of Heltah Skeltah. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, you were scared of Heltah. Nah, you were scared of Heltah Skeltah. You were scared of Heltah Skeltah. It's just that It's just that when you saw that these two big brothers, when you saw them, they cracking jokes as they getting ready to stomp you out and fucking take your wallet and shit like that. And then they cracking jokes right. and they rhyming over ill beat as you're bleeding on the floor. Like
they make a rhyme about it later. Like I saw beat up this dude earlier today.
Some dope shit. Some shit where you got the fucking pork chop or the cold patches of peas on your eyes. Like damn, that shit is dope. I don't want to admit it, but that shit is dope.
Well, listen, I mean, I hear everybody talking, but to this very second right now, Optic is the only one to put his vote down openly and willingly. He talked about the Wiggy and this is a organized confusion guy. So again, who do you got? If we make it to round 5, you understand what my madness is about.
I got the Wiggy on this one, man.
Oh,
yeah, Optics said it so perfect before, bro. He said stress is like an art piece. You know what I mean? The Wiggy. Triple C is gonna swing by, and I'm gonna be one of the guys in the Jeep. Later on, when we're in the news, why were you in there? Yo, he was playing the Wiggy. We had the hammers. We was out. He said we was just gonna take the picture. Like a real quick to the store, real quick trip to the Sev. He was just going to the Sev. That's what he said.
I thought you was on your Tupac shit, on your conscious shit. I thought this was gonna resonate with you, Playboy. I guess not. I see which version of Tupac it is tonight.
Yeah, I'm going with Wiggy because you can't go wrong with they made something a funny name, Hot. They made a funny name with the track, Hot.
I mean,
and you the one driving the Jeep. You the one driving
I'm disturbing the peace. I'm disturbing the peace in the hood.
Listen.
Here comes that guy again with that
There's that news van again.
If you grow up broke in the hood in some sort of other country, you probably played games on the floor like marbles where you had to knock the other marble out. In this particular case, it's happening again. You got 2 votes right now that don't matter. Rim shot, take it home down, baby. I'm gonna edit the sound right there. Ding, right there. Throw it right there, Drago. Throw it right there. Listen, I respect you, gentlemen. I want to hear what you have to say, but I need you to understand, no matter what you say, it doesn't matter. But who did you have?
Go ahead, Scan.
This is amazing.
I had the Wiggy. Wiggy. Yeah, I mean, like I said, just like to touch back again, what I said earlier and what to Optic said, like that the organized album is a fine piece of art, man. That it's just its own zone, and it needs to be played at its own time. You know what I mean?
That's an interesting way to shit on it. Okay. Hobo. Who did you have?
I'm going to go with the Wiggy as well. In the chat, A. Morris said that organized were better lyricists than Helter Skelter. And I don't know if it's that clear cut and dry. Like I responded in the chat.
Ooh, that's interesting. Well, we're gonna wrap this round up, and I want to get back to that conversation. But that's interesting.
I mean, Sean Price, man, just how he just jumped into that song.
Was he the same Sean Price back then?
No, he got better. He definitely got better as he got older. But I think.
Actually, I think he just shined more later.
I think I was gonna say I think people recognized him more later, but like the early Helter Skelter, he was a monster, man. Like he was really dope.
He was always lyrically dope.
Yeah. I think that sometimes in a group you get that one person that outshines the other. And I will say he's better than Ruck, but I don't think he outshined Ruck.
Right. Because Ruck had the voice.
He outshined him.
I don't know, man. That's difficult to say, man. Like they were both so uniquely dope. I don't know. Like this is one of the rare groups where you can't choose. Like that, you can always hear that conversation with little brother, right?
Respectfully, though,
Fonte and Pooh. You know what I mean?
Rock was the star of the group. He was the star of the group. Respectfully,
no, I know he
stood out. He was the more handsome. He was the taller one. He had the deeper voice. Shit, he was even rocking. he's the reason they stopped being a group. He left to go do his own solo shit because everybody was like, "You are the fucking star of the group."
Interesting.
And
History
it turned out the other way around.
Yeah, Sean P. He did a Ghostface. He just like out of nowhere, he just like blew up.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just showing my fandom. I guess.
He's dope. Listen, Rock is dope, but like Rock left boot camp to go try to be with DJ Lethal over on the West Coast.
Yeah, I say sound like try to sound like Limp Bizkit or something.
Yeah, he was fucking with DJ Lethal, which is basically again, listen. At that point in time, Limp Bizkit were monsters.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and then he's got the DJ of one of the biggest fucking groups in the world, not fucking rap or rock or like in the world going, I want to do rap with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he's like, well, Drew and them, they cool and shit, but and Rock, I think at that point in time, like we said, that fine line was being divided in the dirt of like, you're either going to be on Stretch and Bobbito or you're going to be on Angie and Flex. Like which world are you going to be in? And certain people could cross into both. At that time, you had to make a choice, unfortunately. And
he's not Angie and Flex. But
he's not at all.
Stretch and Bobbito.
And like I said, that's why that choice needs to be made. And then you see what it boils down to at the end of the day. But that's interesting. So wrapping up round number 4, we decided to play some music. We decided to put Stray Bullet versus the Wiggy. Whole room sided one way. This was an easy round to go with. It looks like the Wiggy is the official winner for round number 4. Put HELTAH SKELTAH again on the board at a score of 3-1, which basically wraps things up at this point. Again, sometimes the game goes long, sometimes it goes shorter, but just to be clear, we wrap things up now around number 4 because the score in total gives us a score at the end of the game of 3-1. 3 leading heavy for the HELTAH SKELTAH Nocturnal album. So just give it up one time for tonight's winner. When we talked about the 90s classic album battle of Organized Confusion of Stress, the Extinction Agenda versus HELTAH SKELTAH's Nocturnal, tonight's winner is officially HELTAH SKELTAH's Nocturnal. Give it up one time. Live on Who Do You Got? HELTAH SKELTAH. Everybody in the chat room, let me know how you're feeling. I think everybody was sort of going HELTAH SKELTAH regardless. It has been a heavy.
I mean, I think there's some champions for Organized Confusion in there for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think they definitely have some heavy bullets in the clip. Can we talk about round number 5, for example? We're officially done. The game officially goes to HELTAH SKELTAH. I just want to see again. Why don't we play a little bit of music? We got a little bit of time. What this would sound like, DJ Hoba, if you don't mind. We're gonna start with Organized Confusion. I wanted to play again. You guys kind of mentioned some of these records along the line of tonight's game. I wanted to play Organized Confusion's Black Sunday versus Therapy.
Black Sunday.
What a mind fuck.
Lord help me out now. We gotta get together. We gotta organize. No matter the weather, it's a Black Sunday. Hey.
Didn't the Roots use this later?
No, this is oh my God, Gravediggers.
Oh yes.
Nowhere to run to, baby.
Nowhere to hide.
Yeah, that was great. Did that.
And listening back to that, I'm like, damn, it was not like there wasn't too much of a difference between the records at all.
One is super creepy.
Gravediggers was a little bit faster, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think the Gravediggers were just a little bit faster. Yeah.
But yeah, that song is hard, man. Like if you listen to like lyrics and what he's saying, and I think like that resonates throughout that whole album. Like they are really like, as we're respectfully, Nocturnal's talking a lot of street stuff, gun bars, if you will. I feel like they're really saying something in this album, like really trying to like get a point across.
Okay. Well, let's see if that point gets across in what we thought might have been a good battle of, again, the mellow vibe I was going for, Black Sunday versus Therapy.
Therapy, all right.
And then the next patient.
Who had the most mellow vibe?
Let's see what we have here. My name is Dr. Kim.
Creative as fuck. This is something that you wouldn't think that they would, like they would be, that they would make. Like
this is A&R move. This is A&R move.
Think about his violence. It doesn't matter if I'm dead, sober, or I'm bent. It's strange. You're not insane, or at least I don't think so. Or am I? You think so, Doc? Truthfully, I don't know. So what do? I go to my crew and ask for help, but they ain't no help. They go do the same shit they damn self. So I look deep into the mind of a crook.
shit is so fire. That shit is so fire.
Yeah, man. I mean,
that's an A&R move right there, but it was a good A&R move.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, we need something for the radio. And
it was rock. It was rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, again, he was, like I said, he was the lady's favorite. You know what I'm saying?
I submitted. I accepted the L already. I admit that I was wrong. I'll sit down.
About which one? About which one?
about the both. About the. About
no. Listen. They both won because while Rock had his era, P had his era too. You know what I'm saying? And like.
And they stayed together. I mean, they did. I guess I don't know. Would you consider that they broke up or they just did?
I think they just both did solo stuff and they would still work together. Like they would still do stuff together. It's awesome. Like I don't think they needed the patience to be agreed.
At the end of the day, they, you know what I mean? They were still brothers. I had a chance one time, you know, like I recorded that session with Rockness Monster, and then like when he was actually out here over at Hit Squad Studios, I was over. It was like me, my brother, Rock, and Mike Hands, and just in talking to Rock and just go like reminiscing with the combo we had and things he was talking about. Like him and Sean P, they were brothers, period. Like, you know what I mean? Like they just like they a squad, like they decent for life, you know what I mean? Like so that was.
What about when Magnum Force came through?
Yeah, right. You know what I mean? So it's like how I took it or how I would take it is like I think somebody just said it, like they was just handling business. Like, okay, you're gonna go do that dolo, I'm gonna just do this dolo. Like there was no riffing or beefing in between it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. There could have been internal shit, but you know what? On some real shit though, like they kept that shit to themselves. We don't know. So like if there was or there wasn't, like no, it was none of our business, still isn't. And it's like I'm glad we kind of have no clue. Like we just think it's sort of like, no, it's all good, right?
That's how it's supposed to be. That's how you would want it. You know what I mean?
100%.
I mean,
That's exactly
Rock
right.
was all over all Sean Price's albums when he was coming back.
Yes, he was.
Right.
Yes, he was.
Right.
Yeah. So again, like, listen, you win some, you lose some. You know what I'm saying? But you got to take the shot. And again, I would have probably went over to fucking the West Coast also if I was Rock.
Can I ask a question? Can I ask a question?
You may, Mr. Shapiro.
What happened to LaFleur? It was nowhere near going to appear anywhere on this.
So it was a conscious decision to not talk about that record.
That's disrespectful.
We talked about it on something else.
First of all, we haven't talked about it somewhere else. But long story short, the clear picture is that we know that record was added on to whatever next boot camp release was coming out. It could have been OGC coming out next. That record would have ended up on OGC's album. That record was.
I think that's where we talked about it. We talked about it when we was doing OGC.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
OGC?
Yeah.
Do OGC?
I don't remember that either.
Really? Well, it came up before.
Well, long story short, that record was done. I don't know how, but it was definitely presented as like a project. Like the Fab Five was the name of this shit.
Absolutely,
Fab Five. They probably couldn't clear that fucking name. They should have came up with something else after that, but I think they just let it die, like whatever, like it was a one-off. Because they produced basically 2 songs out of that project. If you're buying vinyl at that point in time, you had LaFleur on one side and Blah Blah or something like that on the B side.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And that was again, it was OGC and Helter Skelter. I think it was on some like at that point in time, like a marketing ploy, like fuck it, like these are the 2 groups. Fab Five is funny, like go with this record. I mean,
I think was it a Fab Five single or was it a Helter Skelter single?
It was a Fab Five single for sure.
I know the video. I remember the video saying Fab Five and all that.
It's definitely a Fab Five single. If you If you
But I'm
got
saying-
original with the artwork,
But I'm saying it's on the album though. You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
Again, that's what I'm saying. That's just another marketing move to be like, listen, you guys are on it. You know, for all we know, it could end up on OGC's album also. You know what I'm saying? It's like one of those kind of moves. Like I wouldn't be surprised if it is on OGC's album. I don't know that for a fact, and if somebody wants to reference that for us.
Yeah, let me take a look.
But I'm not saying that it's not a HELTAH SKELTAH album featuring OGC. It's that we all know it was a Fab Five. And while it's a dope record, on a marketing perspective, I'm glad as a fan, if you loved it that much, because remember back then you had to buy product. And that record was coming out on a single where people really buying singles that heavy. Like they were to a certain degree, but there it is for like, listen, if you're a fan of BCC in general, next project gonna have the little for like, I bet.
I love that record. Every time I hear that record.
Oh, it's a great record. It's a great record. But like I said, it was its own, like that record deserves.
It's not on the OGC album.
Well, I appreciate your answer, yo, Jules. I appreciate that, man. For all the weed that you're smoking, that was a very well put together answer. Thank you. I will gladly sit down.
Trying to tell you, man, it ain't easy sitting up here, man. Checking and jabbing, baby. You know what I'm saying? Listen, optics. Again, things didn't work out in your particular pick's favor.
Right.
But what is it about? Because you grew up, you said in Cincinnati, correct?
Yeah.
So what is it about Stress, the Extinction Agenda that made it out there, that made more noise for you, I guess, even beforehand, 94?
Well, I mean, in 94, I was 9 years old. So I got into this way later. Like, I didn't hear
it impacted you at some point.
Yeah, I didn't hear either of them right when they came out. I didn't hear either of them till like so I'm going back to it. So, and that's always an interesting thing. And, I like discussing that with a lot of my friends since, especially now I've been in Brooklyn since 2008. So pretty much everybody I know is out here. And I have a unique perspective because there was no outside influence telling me what to like. It just kind of was like, I would just pick up on whatever it was that would resonate with me.
Right.
So, and then it's like certain things after living here for a while, I'm more into now than I was as a kid. While certain things, I'm kind of like, yo, that shit was kind of corny. I don't really like it anymore. But I didn't have that influence then. So, but this album, I always loved Pharoah Monch, and I started to like this album more as an adult. Because I feel like it's just, even though they were young, like they weren't like older or anything.
I don't know how old they were when they were.
Artistic album.
Right.
I really like things that like just driving. Driving is what makes me listen to this album. Like it's my shit to drive to, and like joints make you think. If I said something in the chat, Pharaoh's delivery is like, it's like kind of second to none at that time. Like nobody was. Although it's funny, like you were bringing up the Gravediggers sample, and like Poetic and Pharaoh were kind of similar. They kind of both get all like gospel.
Yeah.
Their verse.
It's an interesting point. Yeah, okay.
But yeah, like I mean, it just even as an adult, this one kind of just like grew with me more.
Hobo, the chat. I definitely want to know what they're saying, but I see Philly the Kid say something about Top Dog fan club. What's he saying?
What are you saying?
Philly the Kid. He saying something about a Top Dog fan club or some shit.
I see somebody saying. I see Black Moses saying Jean Grey deserves desserts and flowers, and absolutely Jean Grey is definitely phenomenal, man.
I wouldn't even know what to put her up against, to be honest.
You could do Jean Grey against Rod Digger.
We already did Rod.
I mean, we just did it. you weren't there, but we literally just dropped it. Brand new episode on YouTube. We just dropped
Perfect timing, baby.
I got homework to do.
Amadea versus Rod Digger. Dirty Harriet versus Collage. Check YouTube's subscribe, like, comment.
Jean Grey.
You could put Jean Grey against any of the like, kind of like right after the Raucous era underground shit.
But like who else is another female underground that's serious?
I don't think it needs to be a female. I think that's where you.
Ooh, nice, very
true. I say that too, Optics. I was gonna
Very
say
true.
that.
My bad. 100%.
You could put her up against a dude.
You're 100% right. I'm asking my bad.
MC versus MC.
That's
MC
right.
versus MC.
Okay.
Because Rod Digger, like, that's one of the things that I love about Rod Digger. Rod Digger's an MC. Like,
Right.
Rod Digger's like an MC. Like, it just so happens that she's a cool ass fucking broad, like, chick, you know what I mean? Woman, but she's a fucking dope ass MC, you know what I mean? And Jean Grey's dope.
Word, for sure. I mean, again, if you like her that much, like, if you're subscribed to Eats Beats and Rounds on YouTube, well, now listen, you'll be glad to know we have a whole episode dedicated to
this gives me an amazing time to promote. I don't get too much time to sit back and chill on the YouTube, but I'm getting ready to go to.
You like
Dallas,
to listen,
Texas.
right? You like to listen. Just go ahead.
I'm getting ready to go to Dallas, Texas to host the Hip Hop Fusion live show with Smith and Wesson,
hey now,
Craig G, Mr. Cheeks, John Jiggs, and Monopoly Fam, Moses the Great, AJ Shaka. So while I'm on my flight to the event at the Whole-Time Theater, I'm already subscribed, but I'll get a chance to sit down and watch a couple of, videos, and I'll be more abreast and prepared for the next Eats, Beats, and Rhymes. I'll be better.
Wait, bring the voting machine with you. Bring the voting machine with you.
When is it again? When is that Dallas joint?
It's this Thursday, the 22nd.
22nd of September. For those watching this later on YouTube, ask them how it went in the comments. Say how'd it go.
Well, I could give you an update next Monday.
There you go.
No doubt.
Other episode that'll come out months from now. But again, that was the last question of the evening. I do have one other quick question, and this is just quickly your opinion. We don't have to delve too much into it unless you guys want to say about it. But two groups, again, we don't get that too often. 4 people we're talking about: Prince Poe, Pharoah Monch. I'm a little high. Sean Price and Rockin' This Monster. Is that proper, right? Rockin' This Monster. Who would have got lyrical MVP in your opinion?
Oh shit!
Wow, that's it. See, now that's
I didn't break it down like that.
Again, that's the beauty trip. Like, if this would have been a serious question, it would, like, that was the tiebreaker if there was one. Whatever hill you want to stand on, but someone stands out to you more lyrically than the other. Who do you think, throughout the consistency of their project from beginning to end, got the MVP, and who did it better out of the two? So it's almost like this one, the best one, this one, and now it's these two, and you're gonna yourself have to like cut down and decide who's the best lyrical, in your opinion, MC out of the 4.
Wow,
the MVP in tonight's Super Bowl, pretty much.
I'm gonna say Pharaoh.
Okay. Ooh, is it okay?
Pharaoh.
Do you want to unpack, or is that just like I got Pharaoh, like that's it?
Because Pharaoh, I feel like as I reminisce over that album, he carried majority of that album lyrically. And if you walk back from that, I'm gonna say vocally, because he sang on that album. Pharaoh. I think that album sounds differently if you take Pharaoh off that album, as where
Absolutely.
If you take Rock off of Helter Skelter, I don't think it sounds different.
Well, again, so your vote, it would have ended up going to Organized Confusion if that's the case.
Yeah.
So
that's a dope way of breaking it down, though. Like, that's a dope way, because like if you take either Ruck or Rock off of the Nocturnal album, you could still vibe and rock with that album. But if you take Pharoah Monch, and I think Rock is just so lyrically, you know what I mean? But Pharoah Monch is like another level, you know what I mean?
Sharp ass knife, bro. Sharp ass sword.
Yeah, he's like another different level. And if you take the analogy that DJ Obo just said, as far as you take Pharoah Monch off that album,
Like, in your opinion, he would have got MVP tonight's vote.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
DJ Optics, again, same question. Who in your book?
Same answer. I don't feel like I got anything to add. You guys said it all. But yeah, Pharaoh gets it for me.
Yeah,
Interesting. Again, and we're talking about, and this ain't the question. Like I said, I'm just playing devil's advocate for the room. We're talking about the God Sean Price. You know, I mean,
yeah, but we're talking about these two albums, right?
Yes, we are.
We're not talking about
No, I felt the slap. I felt the backhand. I felt it. That's why you know.
That was a question ahead of him.
That was a good catch. That was a good catch, Optic.
You shook my camera. You shook my camera. Look, you shook my camera. So fair enough.
Five fingers. You felt the 5 fingers.
I did. It was the back of the knuckles that hurt. It's the back. Again, so it's still Sean Price. I still stand by my statement. Does anybody feel any differently? Or again, it doesn't count at this point, but that was the MVP overall question at the end of the night. Lyrically, who held it down? Scan and Trip, though, you know, what are you guys thinking?
I said Farrell too.
Farrell for you? Okay.
Yeah.
This one.
So
this one, I don't want to say it. My vote don't count. I want to say I don't know. I don't know.
Sure, motherfucking don't.
Shout out to DJ Phantom in the chat. He said Ruck came into his own later. And that's exactly what Optics was saying. Like if you're saying this album, like clear cut at this point in time, Pharoah Monch is on a different level. Like Rock is dope. You know what I mean? But you're looking at Pharoah like, yo, did you just? And he's vocally holding the album too.
That Bring It On song that Pharoah had. Come on, bro.
Yo, can I play that real quick?
Yeah.
That shit was bonkers, bro. That's 94.
That's what I was talking about. One of those type of hooks where it's just repeat and chant. Like that's it. Repeat and chant.
Listen to this shit.
No, it's fire.
The lyrics though.
This bass line, the bass line and I don't know what instrument that is in the back, but
Be kicking more graphics and I need OG already to pick computer chip pieces between my lips and then I'll spit it out, go ahead, spit it out. That itty bitty style you upchuck. Better believe I butt fuck MCs from the rear and a bitch are stuck up. It's my
pause.
Big pause.
Who's from the start I blew up with the
Rascal pause.
Made into the brain and then I begin to give them a lobotomy. Follow me, I'm shaping your brain like pottery.
He was even the flow. The flow is so futuristic at the time. It's like who's rapping like that at that time?
He was on another level, man.
Yeah.
He was on another level. And I'm telling you, I love Ruck. I love Rock. I love the duck down sound. But like Optic said at this point in time, man. And Hobo said it, man. Like you take Pharoah Monch off that album, it's an entirely different album, dog.
Well, I think he went through the same sort of thing that Rock went through, right? People were sort of like, you're the star of the group, you know, and the solo-ness occurs, whether that's encouraged to the fandom or if that was the plan from the get-go. Pharoah's career took off and did wonders, you know. I mean, he's still rocking to this day. I mean, shout out to Prince Poe as well. He is as well.
Yes,
we're talking about a guy that has is it easy to say Simon Says is a platinum record? Is that?
It's got to be.
Yeah. I mean,
you would figure.
Listen, all right, they would either be lying or just don't care about what's going on in the hood.
Gotta be. Yo, I gotta say, Optics, that battle is great. I like it. Jean Grey.
Oh, versus Moral Tech
versus Murs and Knife.
Yeah.
Oof.
I like that.
Murs and Knife, man.
I like that.
Murs and Knife put out some joints, man.
It has to be the bootleg, the original Genius, not the one that came out.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. But yeah, that would be very interesting because that's like that was when Knife Wonder was he was in a different space in that at that time with both of those albums.
Nothing shows up on the RIAA website for Pharoah Monch, Simon Says.
Really?
That doesn't mean that it's not platinum.
It would have been, but it's like it went platinum. Just back because of the song.
It's platinum.
It's hood platinum.
It's hood platinum for sure.
No, you know what? I gotta be honest with you. And other times where I would go along with the joke, but like this is one time where it's like, no, like this is legitimately an international record. That record is a big hip hop record. I feel like people around the world know that Dun, 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 dun. Like, I think if there's a pocket of hip hop, which there is in most areas of the world, Simon Says gets his ring off.
Yeah.
I mean, that had to be like a ringtone at that time, bro.
I mean, they play that at NBA games.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
that record is huge. That drop is that's an iconic hip hop.
Listen, when you get sued by the original people, like that means you're doing the right thing. You know what I'm saying?
You made it.
Made it, baby. You know what I'm saying? Okay, listen, I'll take my little 5% publishing, you take the rest. But let me live. You know what I'm saying? Just let me live. I didn't know it was gonna be that big. At least he might collect 10% for 5 off the producer, 5 off the
Wow.
Business tactics, baby. That was what I had for you guys tonight. And it looks like if MVP was actually a question we would have got across, it looks like it would have been sort of unanimous. It would have been Pharaoh Monch across the board. So that's kind of a question I might say down the line for maybe another battle. I kind of like the way that one kind of works. You guys chose the best out of the 4, if you will, and they're all fucking darts to begin with, super sharp. But thank you for joining us once again, everybody in the chat room. I still boggles my mind that there's people that come and join us every fucking week and fucking just hang out and chat and like, yeah, that shit's cool, or no, you're wrong, or you're full of shit, or whatever. Like, I love it. I fucking love it.
Greatly appreciate it.
Yo, so much. Thanks for everybody that leaves comments on the YouTube page. Thanks so much. Like, subscribe, share, let people know how dope we are. You know, it's all right. Don't be bashful. To everybody else in the room, thanks for always joining us. DJ Optics, thanks for joining us once again. Again, we do this every Monday night live on Twitch. If you want to join us live and join us in the live chat room at the same time, every Monday night live on Twitch, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But you can always catch us 365, 24/7 on YouTube. Eats, Beats, and Rhymes. You don't have to spell it out one word anymore. You can give it its own eats space.
Chew.
And you can write the whole word and it just rhymes, which is a little difficult to spell if you don't know how to spell it off memory, but just and then we pop up in a bunch of cool episodes, like all the stuff we're dropping every week. So make sure you check it out, like, subscribe. We appreciate y'all. Leave comments for the ones who have been. Thank you so much. And guys, we'll do this again next Monday. I don't know what's next on the battle, but we'll see what it is coming up. But I appreciate you guys always joining us as well. Thanks to everybody in the chat room. And shout out to everybody that joins us here on the internets. Thank you so much. Peace out. Eats, Beats, and Rhymes presents an episode of Who Do You Got Tonight? Winner. Give it up one more last time, fellas, for Nocturnal, Heltah Skeltah.
Yeah.
And I'll see you guys soon, everybody. Peace out.
Easy,
Peace.
fellas.